Hello, good morning, happy Friday. Lisa's here. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? I never know. Oh, the sun's behind me, I should move. There we go. Hey, Daz! I just got on here, so you are just in time. I'm trying to get my video so that the sun isn't in my face. Oh, good. I can be seen and I can be heard. Well, happy Friday, everybody. Today is the kids' last day of school and my youngest's last day of preschool. And I won't lie, I was freaking out a little bit about my little guy being done preschool. I'm a very, very nostalgic person, and firsts and lasts are really big deals to me. Even stuff that really shouldn't matter. I mean, preschool is important, so a person could understand that, but I'm very funny in that way about special events and marking occasions. And so I've been having a little bit of a hard time with this one, but they're off to school and it's just mama for a little while. So cheers to that. So I wanted to share some exciting news with you guys, and I'm going to be posting a video on this soon. But Daniel and my dad gave me, per my request, a new drip irrigation system for my garden. And I know that some of you guys know this already, but I'm going to be making a video showing you everything. And why I'm excited about this is we like to do a lot of camping, and for long stretches, I have people stay at the house and it's not a problem. But we also like to dip out for like a weekend or a night or two, just short little things. And I have my animals set up so that we can do that and everyone is well taken care of. I have the feed system down, the watering system down. It's actually quite sustainable. Yeah, super necessary, right, Lisa? I think so. So you like to dip out too. Oh, you're making fun of me. Yeah, we like to dip out. But my garden is a problem in the late summer, or in our case now, because we're getting 110-degree temperatures up here in Canada this coming weekend and week, which is not the norm for us. We can get into the 90s quite often, but 110 is a little bit a lot for us. And so we like to go, and if I can't leave my garden, that's a problem. And so I've been wanting this for a long time. But here's another problem is we are way out in the country. We don't have, just water that you can tap into. So we do have a spring that is seasonal, season dependent. So this year it's doing okay, although we are in a drought. Sometimes we have more water than we know what we can do with, which is wonderful. But sometimes we don't. So that's a consideration. So I want to use as little water as possible and have it be as effective as possible. Hi, Kelly. I texted Kelly and I was like, I'm going live. I got all my people here. This is wonderful. Daz and Lisa and Kelly. It's a good morning. What was I saying? Oh, so we have this spring. So I've been able to tap into it for our sprinklers, for our grass, and for watering our garden. So what Daniel and my dad did, and I don't know if I can show you. I'll try to show you. I have some of my flower baskets here. So you can see that there's a hose in here. I don't know if you can see that actually. And so I have a little knob over here that I can twist on and off. And I don't actually have the system turned on right now. And this is a drip line that is able to water my flowers. And then I have, where's my tomato? I have a tomato here. And I know you guys are at an angle. I'm holding you at an angle. Can you see this little red drip guy? That is a little dripper that drips just to the base of my tomatoes. So it's really a focused watering system. Uh-oh. I closed out my comments somehow. There we go. So it just really focuses deep watering wherever you want it. And so what I found is I actually really only need not even 10 minutes for some of these plants to get quite saturated, which is amazing because you can imagine a little drip for 10 minutes on a drought-ridden spring. If that can go a long way and do the job for my flowers, then I have it made. So I've been tweaking settings and placement and different things, and I'm really happy with how I have now. So I bought, I don't have it out here. That's a shame. I have a couple timers to put them on timers, and so I can set it up to do 10 minutes every 2 hours, 10 minutes once a day, whatever I need, and then I can set it and go. I'm sorry, I have an itchy nose. It's really itchy out here today. There's still pollen coming off the pine trees, and it makes me so itchy in my nose. Anyhow, I started talking to you early about the dip out comment and recalled you couldn't see or hear me. Oh, yeah. I didn't clue in for a second, but so I think it's going to be really good. So I turned it on, and everything, and keeping in mind it hasn't been 110, it's been like 104. I watered everything 2 days ago, and I checked it yesterday, and it didn't even need to be watered at all. Like I didn't even need to turn it on. Everything was still moist, and some of them were even like wet still. So I'm thrilled because I've never seen you put your finger up your nose in a live. Oh man, that's funny. I love it. Anyway, sorry, I'm like off on every tangent. I'm like a squirrel. I like can't stay focused. Bye, Lisa. I'm so glad you got to join me for a minute before work. Have a good day. Have a good day. I know you have a long day today. So message me later. Let me know how you're doing. I'll check in with you later. Yep, so I'm stoked. So I'm going to get the timer going, and then we have another area. I'm going to show you all my areas because I don't think I've shown you an actual garden tour. My garden tour is not going to be conventional like you see most people have. We do not have a plot of land that's dug out. We don't have a series of raised garden beds that are in one area. The way our acreage is there's a little bit everywhere, and I'll tell you why. The reason for that is I'm a big proponent of using the space that you have. When we purchased this house, there was a terraced rock wall area, and there was some lavender that was in there, and otherwise it was pretty much bare. And I thought, what a great place to put veggies. And so we dug it all out, put fresh new soil in there, and I've utilized the space, which is pretty decent size. I'll show you in the video that I'm going to make this weekend. So I have lots of stuff in there. I have broccoli. I have a lot of cool weather crops. So here's the thing about up here too, for those of you that don't know, is we have frost and freezing cold nights until June, and sometimes through the middle of June. It just depends on the year. We did have a big freeze the first week of June this year. And so I have to be able to either cover my plants, bring them inside, or have them be cool weather crops that they can stay out. And when I say cold, like sometimes we're talking like -6 Celsius, -8 Celsius, low 20s Fahrenheit. Like we're talking cold, not just like a little, oh, it's 33 Fahrenheit, or no, like it gets cold. So I have to be able to, or else I can't plant, right? So I have cold weather stuff there, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. What else do I have out there? peas I have out there. I'm so excited for your big garden, Kelly. That's going to be amazing. And you have a really good garden set up now, so I can't wait to see what you're going to grow. It's going to be awesome. So I have all my cool crops out there. And it works out well. And stuff doesn't need too deep of roots, because although I have a good root ability, like I don't know how much soil I have in there, maybe that much, but it's not really good for root vegetables. I learned that last year because I planted my potatoes and my carrots, and they grew, but not the best because they can't really like get down deep where they need to. So you guys have seen my hugelkultur beds, my bright sunny yellow beds that I made. And that's where my root vegetables are. So I have my potatoes, my beets, my carrots. I do have some Walla Walla sweet onions in there. And then to utilize the space, I have cucumbers that are going to grow up a trellis, both pickling cucumbers and like snacking cucumbers, which I'm really excited about. And so I have those two, and those are two separate areas. So I have the terraced rock wall as like one cool crop garden, I call it. And then my hugelkultur beds have my root vegetables. And then I have what I call sensitive crops. So my peppers, my tomatoes, my tomatillos are on my deck in planters. So let me show you my tomatillos. So I know that Alicia, Country Mama Musings, is not on here right now, but she was showing us her tomatillos, how they were as tall as she is. Check this out. I'm 5'7", and these are like 5'6". And they have a ton of tomatillos coming on them. I don't know if you can see that. There's my obnoxious face in the side. Hello. There's a lot of tomatillos coming. So I keep them and my tomatoes and my peppers on the deck so that I can bring them in when it gets cold. Daz gets to -3, so he runs around the night before covering stuff. I know, isn't that annoying to have to do? And especially if it's a little later than you planned on. It's just so miserable. So Daz, you're in winter now, right? I think it's your winter now. Oh, Kelly, you'd be lost in them, honey. You wouldn't make it above the pot. My sweet Kelly. I'm so excited you guys are here with me. Daz and Kelly and Lisa left. It says there's 4 people. Who's watching all sneaky that I haven't seen on here? It says we have 4 people watching. Maybe Lisa left hers on. Tomatillos, yeah, you can put them in salsa, but no, they're not the best for salsa. They're more for like enchilada sauce or salsa. Well, no, they are. They're for salsa verde, green salsa. But we are going to be using them for green enchilada sauce. For the people that don't know, my husband is Mexican, and we like to eat a lot of his mom's recipes, and she is not up here in Canada with us, but we do our best, which doesn't do anything justice, to be completely honest, but we are trying. So I wanted to do tomatillos this year to make green enchilada sauce, and the kids like it, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. Lewis says, why are you so small? Why are you so small? He married you anyway, so, you know. Oh, Lisa, bless your heart. I love you. That's a good friend right there, huh? You guys are all, like, honestly, for people who are watching this after, we have Kelly in here, Roost and Rescue, Daz, My Aussie Garden and Kitchen, and Lisa, Yogi Hollow Farm. These people are, like, the best, like, supporters a person could have. Like, just such good people. Go follow them. If you're watching this after and you're not on live with us right now, follow these people. They're absolutely delightful, and I've so enjoyed getting to know all of you. So, Alicia, I just showed them my tomatillos. I'm so sorry for doing this again, you guys, but I'm going to show Alicia my tomatillos. Okay, Alicia, here we go. Ready? So I was just telling everyone that I'm 5'7". crazy, right? And my hair. So, which way am I going? Yeah. They're as tall as me. And look at all the flowers. And every single almost flower that I've had has turned into a tomatillo. So I have one plant that's farther ahead than the others. But look at them. And there's a ton of them. I don't know if you can see them all. There's like one hiding behind here. There's some in the back there. And we were talking, Alicia, about my drip system. I showed them a little bit because I'm on the deck. So I only have my, I was telling everybody I only have my cold intolerant plants on the deck. So my peppers, my tomatoes, my tomatillos. But I have a little drip hose into my flowers, and this is a little knob that can control the flow. So I was just showing them all that, Alicia. Anyway, so we talked tomatillos, we talked drip system. I had other things to tell you guys. What did I have to tell you? Oh, my cucumbers. I planted all my cucumbers for pickling back at the beginning of June, and then we got that horrible cold spell, and all but 3 of them froze and died. So I had to replant my cucumbers this week. And it's the end of June, and I'm hoping that they'll be okay before our end of summer frosts start, which in some years can be in the late August. But some years we get lucky, and it's into September. And last year we were really lucky. We didn't really get any frost till October. So I have my fingers crossed. But I'm so upset that my cucumbers didn't make it. I have my door open because I can still see him in there too. I had my door open to cool it down. It's hot, as I said, and it's still cool in the morning. I guess I should clarify. It's going to be hot later. So I have all the doors and windows open, and a wasp, you guys, got in my house. So I have the door open to try to get him to come out again, but I can still see him in that upper window. I hope I'm not letting more wasps in by leaving that door open. So I wanted to tell you guys a story that I don't know if you know. It's the story of how we got this house. There's an eagle up there, but I don't think I can capture him. There's a huge eagle, and it's circling. Wonder if I can capture that. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see him. Could you see it? So the story of how we got this house. My grandfather, I don't have any incensed as, no. And our house is huge. It has like, I don't know how high these ceilings are. I don't think the incense would make a dent. It'll come out eventually, or it'll die in the upper window, I guess. So my grandfather, my father's father, bought a piece of property. It was 160 acres. And it encompassed 2 sides of the river that we have on the property. And at one point in time, my grandfather's mother and father, my grandfather and my grandmother, his sister, my great aunt and uncle and their kids, and then my dad and mom all lived on this property in separate parcels. And my grandfather decided to subdivide the property, which was a huge shame. We used to live, the family home originally used to be on the shady side of the mountain, and he wanted to move on the sunny side of the mountain. And so instead of just moving the home to the sunny side of the mountain, he decided to subdivide the whole property and sell off a huge chunk of the property. And so all the families were then situated on this side of the river. And My grandfather unfortunately was killed in an accident. He was driving and a horse ran out on the highway and he struck it. And I think it killed both of them, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. This happened when my father was 20. And so my grandmother moved from this property for a period of time to a different location. But my dad's aunt and uncle still lived up here, and there was still property ties up here. It was still in the family. And over time, my dad's aunt and uncle grew older, and it was just and all these little parcels started being sold off. And so ultimately, my mom and dad were left with the only property up here, and it's the property that I have now. So they built a house when I was born, and I grew up in this house. And I moved away and I lived in the States for many, many years. I lived in the States for 16 years after I graduated from high school. And as I got married and had kids of my own, I just felt pulled more and more to come back here because, as I said earlier in the live, I'm a very nostalgic person, and special events and places and times are very important to me. And the house itself isn't necessarily important to me, but it's just the lifestyle. So it's out of the city, it's where I grew up. There's just a whole bunch of things that make it an ideal place to live. We have the mountains, we have the river. It's wonderful for the winter because there's snow for the kids to play in. Excuse me. And then it's wonderful in the summer because we can go down to the river and have our own personal beach. And it's just, there's a lot to be loved about this place. But I never could afford it on my own because it's a pretty big property, a very big house. And land in Canada is expensive, especially where we live in British Columbia. It's notoriously expensive. And so, long story short, we worked out a scenario with my dad where we paid him in full, but we paid him with a special arrangement. And so we bought my family home off my mom and dad, which is really cool. So now I am in the home where I was raised, where my dad grew up, not in this exact house, but my dad grew up on this property. I grew up on this property, and my kids are growing up on this property. So it's just a really special place. We're really lucky. And I couldn't really ask for a better situation. I get frustrated with things in town sometimes. The city that we live outside of is growing. It's a big city. It's it's not a big city compared to like what a lot of us are used to, but there's like 200,000 people, and it's getting busier, and there's more traffic, and there's more chaos. And I'm very lucky because I work at the hospital as well, as does my husband. And we have a big center here that allows us to be employed in a way that is fulfilling for us. We both have kind of specialized training, and we're able to honor that here. So that's nice, but we're still able to be out of the fray and live in a peaceful setting. I don't know. I don't think really too many people, I know I've talked to Alicia some of this, but I've been having a little bit of a hard time lately with mental health, not being myself, having a little bit of a hard time. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this place to go. It's been my happy place. It's my place that I go to de-stress and recharge and rejuvenate. And being able to have a place to get away from it all is so important for me and my health. Not only my mental health, but I have some physical stuff as well that pops up from time to time that leaves me very fatigued, very exhausted, needing some treatment now and again. And it's a lot. And it all is better when I head up that hill going out of town, knowing that I'm going home, and it's home in so many ways. It's my home. It's like ancestral land and has been in my family for many generations. And I feel close to my grandfather when I'm here too, even though I never met him. He died when my dad was 20. I never met him, but I just feel like the way I choose to live off this land is very important to me, which is why I do all the foraging that I do. I love to make as many products and foods that are straight from the property as much as I can. Bye, Alicia. Have fun doing your errands in town. I hope you decided to wear what we talked about. But so I make like jelly from Oregon grapes, which you think are disgusting because if you've ever had an Oregon grape, they taste foul and bitter and disgusting. But they're delicious in jelly. They really do have like this really bold, rich flavor, slightly tangy, sweet with the sugar, so good. And then I make my rose petal jelly. You guys may have seen my video that I posted recently. What else do I make off this land? Rosehip jelly, dandelion salve. I made dandelion citrus marmalade. A lot of jams and jellies, as you can tell, and then a lot of salves. Because I just think it's so cool. I have such an abundance here. Why not use it, you know? So pretty cool. So that's kind of my story of how we got here and why I do the things I do. And I feel like we get so immersed in this Western culture and civilization, and you know, we're part of it, but I think it's really good to like go back to basics and try to, you know, kind of be simple living as much as possible. And I love that. So that's my story. Well, Daz, I think it's only me and you, my friend. I think everyone else is gone. Oh, and Kelly's back, I think. Are you back, Kelly? So it's summer, it's getting hot. The boys are having a sports day at school today. And then I think we're going to go down to the river later on and do a little float. Oh, good. Daz, you're still here. That's cool. It's great. You can leave it all behind and go to your home. And I mean home, isn't it? Isn't it? We've had a lot of talk in the last, I don't want to get political or anything like that, but we've had a lot of unfortunate scenarios in Canada involving Indigenous people and having a lot of unmarked graves of children that had gone to residential schools here in Canada recently be found, and it's absolutely devastating and horrifying. And there's a lot of talk about reconciliation and honoring the culture and lands of Indigenous people. And I will never know what that's like. And this isn't to in any way equate the two scenarios, but I think I feel for them, A, because it's just so horrifying, but B, I know how connected I feel to my land, and it's only been a couple generations for me, and I know how it's everything to me. And so I can't imagine what it's like to be a Canadian citizen and have been the first dwellers of these lands and not be able to have the land that was yours. I'm sure that's just awful. So I don't know. I think land connection, you know, it's different for everybody. Some people don't care. It doesn't mean anything to them. You know, a piece of property is a piece of property. For me, I think it would be if it didn't have like such a strong family tie. Like we've owned this land for, I don't even know how long, 60, 70 years, long time. So it's pretty cool to be able to live on it now. Kelly's back again. Very topical here. Yeah, you guys are having it too. You're hearing about stuff too. Australia has a lot of Indigenous lands and Indigenous culture too, doesn't it? It's just very interesting. I love how I think we can learn a lot from Indigenous people and how they utilize the land and live off the land. I think it's important, because it's, anyone can go to a grocery store and pick up a thing of jam or a loaf of bread or flour. Like anybody can do that, but it's something else to be able to create that and make that yourself from stuff that you've sourced. It tastes yummier in my opinion. I'm sure it's all in my mind, but. So Yogi Hollow is doing a summer dessert collaboration, and you're supposed to video your favorite summer dessert and share it. And I think I'm going to do mine this weekend. Next week, we're going to go camping, and I'm going to make, I guess I shouldn't tell you what I'm going to make, huh? I'll just tell you I'll tell you. I'm going to make a strawberry jello whipped cream dessert with like graham crackers and fruit and jello and whipped topping and stuff in there. And we're going to take it camping, put it in the fridge. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to make that. It's really easy. Nothing to it. As part of my collaboration with Yogi Hollow and her crew. And so I have that video coming up. I have my drip irrigation video coming up. We went and got hay. That was an adventure. That video is coming up. I have a lot of stuff, so stay tuned. Busy summer. We're going to start getting into canning season. We're pretty late up here. Like I know a lot of you guys in the States have your produce already has been coming out for eons. We're just starting now to come into harvest for stuff. So the strawberries are just now being harvested. Blueberries are not too far behind. Then we'll start getting into cherries, peaches, pears. All this stuff is grown locally. Not on my homestead. I have raspberries and blueberries on the homestead, but I don't have peaches or pears or anything like that. But they are grown locally in our orchards that are down in town. So I'm going to be canning up a storm, freezing, making all sorts of apple sauces, peach sauce, pear sauce. So there's going to be a lot of activity. Summer's so busy around here. Yeah, everyone's busy summer. Yeah. I love being so busy making stuff because when it's -40 and snowing and there's like 3 feet of snow on the ground and you're just wanting something fresh, it's so great to be able to pull stuff out of the freezer. I froze a whole bunch of peaches last year. And it's kind of funny when the kids were little and I would do it, they thought that the peaches looked like eagle brains. So they used to call them eagle brains. And it's kind of a running joke now they're older. But last winter, they come up and they're like, Mom, can we have some eagle brains? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. But the lady who was beside me in the store was like, because we were shopping for supper. And the kids are like, yeah, tonight let's have some eagle brains. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I think she thought we were little. Woo. Daz, I'm dehydrating lemons. Oh, cool. Oh, I wish I had lemons. The things I would do with lemons. Dehydrating lemons and making lemon powder. Ooh. So I have no experience with lemon powder. I mean, I can assume how you would use it, but tell me a little bit more about lemon powder. You use it in baking, use it on fish. What do you use lemon powder on? That sounds delicious. It's 2 a.m. Oh, bless you. You must be exhausted. Although you're up late, aren't you? You're a late kind of guy. Eagle brains, yeah. Isn't that funny? They have like these weird names for all the fruit, but I canned cherries. I froze a whole bunch of cherries. And then I like to make them, like you wouldn't think that you'd want a smoothie in the middle of winter, but sometimes you just really crave that freshness, and all the produce in the store is disgusting in the winter. And it's not that it's disgusting. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? So we'll do like a smoothie, or we'll do it on ice cream, or even just straight. And I don't know, it's just so good. And then Sometimes if it's like we're lazy and it's a Saturday night, we're having a movie night or something like that, we'll bring out our canned fruit and we'll have like fruit and toast or something really simple. Let's say you've had a huge lunch. Maybe you've come back from skiing and you have a big lunch, and then, you want a light supper, so you can do that. So baking fish in cola drinks. Okay, cola drinks. Yeah. Teas, mix it with thyme and put it on chicken. Yeah. Cool. I think I would use that a lot. There's a spice that I get from a girlfriend of mine that sells cooking stuff, and it's called lemon dilly. And it's lemon and dill, obviously, dehydrated, and I use it on everything. I mix it in like a little mayonnaise, a little milk, little lemon juice, and make like almost like a ranch dressing for on top of like a salad. Or yeah, yum. Very yummy. Well, we are learning to eat off grid. Lots of pantry staples. We sold our fridge. I am so excited for your acreage. For those of you who don't know, who are watching this after, Roost and Rescue just purchased 16 16.13. What is it? What's the number? Acres of raw land in Missouri. And they're starting from the ground up, and they've been clearing the land and doing a pack of work, getting old junk off there, and starting from scratch. Really cool experience. And 16.07. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I got a different number in my head there for a hot second, but yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do. And I'm sure that you've been horribly busy and probably just eating whatever you can grab, right? Lots of coffee though. Kelly and I are coffee buddies. Bye, Lisa. Have a good day at work. I was going to say something else. It's going to be a hot day. I have to change all the sprinklers. I'm going to go down here shortly. I'm going to wrap this live up now. I got to go and get the cows up. I have a lot of grass up in front of the house. I can hear a bee. Where's that wasp? I don't see him in that window anymore. I hope he came out. There's so many of them. Anyhow, there's lots of grass up by our house, and I like to grow it up real long and bring the cows up so that they can munch it down for me, so I don't have to mow my lawn. And then I don't have to feed them hay. So I'm going to go down and get them and bring them up, and it's going to be a hot day, so I want them up here before it gets too hot, and then I can get them all situated. They do really well with just a strand or two of electric fence. I usually do 2 because I still have the calves, but yeah, it'll be a good day to get them up here, and gonna have to change the sprinklers all around so that things don't get parched. And they are being naughty though. So Daisy, our mama cow, got into our hay barn the other day, and I couldn't find the cows anywhere. And I went to fill up their water, and there's many different areas that they can go that I can't see. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Good morning. Or is it still morning, or is it afternoon where you are? I can't. Anyway, good morning. Good to have you. I was just wrapping up, but I was sharing a story about my cows. So looking everywhere for the cows, and there's a huge area where they could be where I wouldn't see them. So it's not unusual. So I kind of took the quad and was trying to go many places they could be. Cannot find the cows. So I'm like, well, that's strange. I'll go and I'll get their evening hay out, because at this point in time, they had gone through all the grass areas. I rotationally graze them through different areas. And usually I time it absolutely right, where the first area that they had grazed is grown up by the time they're ready to circle back. But we had been gone, and so they had kind of, we had gotten off on our rotational grazing. So I was going to have to give them a little hay for supper. So I say, well, I don't know where they are. No worries. I'll fill up their hay feeder, and they'll come down and get it when they want to. Open up the hay barn. Oh, they're in there. And there's poop on some of the bales, and they've ripped some of the bales apart. Ah, oh my goodness. So I have to shoo them out of the hay barn. The hay barn has electric around it and corral panels. So how they got in, I guess they decided to bulldoze their way into the barn. But anyhow, so I had to kick them out. So I have this whole thing re-rigged now. And then Mocha, my little Jersey low-line heifer, was in there last night, but she's little, so she can get through stuff. So I have to spend some time today re-rigging the hay barn so that they won't get in. I say hay barn, I lie. We have a hay barn that's an actual building that like is shut and locked. And then I affectionately call our Shelter Logic plastic. You know what a Shelter Logic is. I call that the hay barn because that's the original thing we had before we built our real hay barn. But it's like a hay storage, now. Anyway, they got in there. So as you can imagine, like it's just zippers, right? Like they didn't get in my actual hay barn. You're probably thinking, how on earth did they get in your hay barn if it's closed and locked and electrified? And no, it's just the Shelter Logic. But I'm going to have to fix it up again because the little ones still keep getting in there. So always something to do on the farm, but it's so much fun and I have so much fun doing it. And I would rather do work like that than than real work. So off I go. But sure was fun to grab coffee with you guys this morning. And thanks for joining me. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. It's the first official weekend of summer here in our side of the world. Daz is living it up in wintertime over there in Australia. But for the rest of us, it's the first weekend of summer. And I hope you guys have a really good weekend. So take care. Thanks for joining me this morning for this short little coffee chat. And keep tuned for my upcoming videos. I'm going to show you the drip irrigation. And I'm going to show you a little garden tour and our little hay adventures. So bye for now.